Okay, this is going to be a fairly fast presentation on how to do presentations. What I'm going to do is show you some packages to install on your Orange Pi 5 Plus, what you need to do to prepare to create your slideshow or your presentation, and then how to do it. So this is the title page of a presentation where you give a title of your topic, who you are, and then what organization you belong to, if any. And I just made this up. This is a Chuck Adams YouTube video productions, and today's date is October the 3rd, 2023. To go to the next slide, I just do a space bar, though there are some little controls down here, and I'll come back to those later. Okay, first of all, in order to create slides, you're going to use a program called LaTeX. Even though people see it spelled T-E-X, it's really pronounced tech, and you should pronounce it like a Klingon, like I just did, but previously I saw Mila Kunis one time talk about Klingon and Russian and speaking in Ukrainian. But anyway, LaTeX, tech was created by Donald Knuth at Stanford University out in California. So anyway, just have no preconceived notions about whether this is going to be difficult or easy. It's going to be easy, no matter what you've heard. So install TechLive, TechLive Base, TechLive Extra. Now this fourth line here is optional. I'm going to use it in some slides coming up, in presentations coming up, where I need to show you some diagrams that I need to create. And then in order to do the display or the presentation, you need a package like Impressive. So that's all you need to do to get started. Now, the simplest presentation is just going to be your title frame. In order to do that, you create a text file, and I just call this one beamer.tech. And inside it, first line is document class Beamer. We're going to use a theme, and there are like 27 default or themes, and I'm going to use the default. And then there are numerous books and numerous YouTube videos on how to create real fancy Beamer schemes. But I am kind of a keep it simple type person. And this just start out simple, and you can graduate to the big times. On your title page, we're going to need a title, author, and institute, and the date. And these are optional. You can leave these out, except you should put a title in there. So this one I just labeled Packages, Preparation, and Presentation using alliteration. Whoops, I did a thing on my mouse. Then this is what's going to go on the title page. You do a begin document, and then every slide is going to be called a frame. So you do a begin frame and an end frame for every page of your presentation. First thing you're going to do is just do the title page. Anything that has a backslash and then a keyword is something that LaTeX will use, and Beamer in particular will use to generate the frame. Now there's a bug. I can find more bugs in software than anybody else. There's a bug in Beamer in that this should be backslash END. There should not be a space here. But I had to put a space in here, otherwise it would generate an error. And then you end the document. So everything's is grouped by begin, end, and each page will be begin, end, frame. To do a second page, I do a begin, end here and insert all the slides that I want to do. Here are the Beamer styles, and I'm going to use default, which is plain white background, simple headers, labels, etc. And then there are a bunch of others, and they're all named after cities, and we'll play around with one or two, show you how easy it is to change the styles. And then you can go and search online for additional styles if people are giving them away. Most people do. You find one that you really love and use. Now, to generate a slideshow, you need to do the following three things. And the first is create the source tag, the source file, which is called whatever your title of your presentation is going to be. I'll just use beamer.tech for mine for this one, but you just VI or VM or use whatever editor you want, create the source, then save the source, and then run the program PDF LaTeX. What this will do will take your source file and go through it and do whatever you want done and create a PDF file. Now the PDF file you can print to a printer, put it online on archive.org or do whatever you typically do with PDF files. Or in our case, we're going to display it on a monitor, so do impressive and source.pdf. And this is what we're looking at. Now, this slide has an enumerated list. They're numbered 1, 2, 3. I had a bullet list previously. To do a enumerated list, your frame contains a begin, enumerate, and then each item is on a separate line, and you just say \item, space, and then whatever you want displayed on that line. Now this indentation stuff here is caused by Vim. It knows all kinds of stuff about different source files, so it automatically indents it, and it's not necessary. But that's how you create an enumerated list. Here's one where we do a list with a word and then its definition or description. So here we talk about types of memory. Cache, which is the memory that's contained within the microprocessor. It's between the registers and the main memory, and there's several levels, level 1, 2, and 3. You may or may not have any levels. You have a level 1, then you may have a level 1 with a level 2, etc. To create the list, you begin with a description. Then on each item you put a left and right bracket with the word that you want, keyword that you want displayed, and then its description on the right. And if this goes more than one line, it will automatically columnize it. So it's very simple to do these lists. There was one other thing that I was going to mention about the list, slips my memory. Okay. If you want to do tables, this is just a simple table for demonstration, but you can have, it's called tabular in LaTeX. You can set up any number of columns that you want. Of course, you have to be within the boundaries of your slide. This one is just simple, that has lines around a block. There is a title line here, and I have 4 columns. Column for list the name of a single board computer, what processor it's using, what its clock speed is and the number of cores at that speed, and then the largest memory. So here's the Orange Pi 5 Plus. Uses an SK3588. It's got a 2.4. It's got four 2.4 gigahertz, largest 16 gigabytes. But it also has another set of four. So I put blanks in these columns and then show the other four clocks, just to keep from making things aesthetically unpleasant. Here's the Lychee Pi 4a, and here's the new Raspberry Pi 5. So you can do tables. Now the table looks a little more complicated, but it's really not. You just do a begin table, then you put a line that says begin tabular, and here you describe how many columns you're going to have. In this case, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. The text is left justified. You can center it, or you can right justify it. And there's a vertical bar to show that I want an outside line on the left and right side, and then I want a line separating each column. The program goes and determines the width of the column by the number of characters maximum in any of the rows. I want to put a horizontal line across the top, so I'll do an H line. Then each row has each of the text in each of the columns I want, and the column separated by an ampersand. So SBC for the first column, second column is processor, then separator, third column, and then fourth. And each line must be terminated with a backslash, two of them, so that LaTeX will know that this is the end of the line, because you could continue across another line. So this gets my header, another horizontal line, and then each one of the lines, OP5 plus, new column, SK35.8, etc. Remember, on the OP5 we got two sets of processors, so the next line I want blank in the single board label column, blank in the processor. This has the clock and cores, and then blank in the last column. H line to bottom of the table, and then that's the end. Optionally, you can put a caption. So down here I had a caption, some table SBCs, and this says table, and you can number them if you want. I'll leave that as an exercise. Sometimes you'll want to, for whatever reason, to go through and do like an enumerated list, only show one thing at a time. What you do is, in the source code between each line, you put a backslash pause. What'll happen is Beamer will render the slide up to the pause and stop. And then if there's any text following it, you hit a space bar and the next line will appear. Then you can talk about it, hit the space bar, and the next line. And it'll do this till you get to the last line. And then, since that's the last line in this frame, Impressive, the display program, is going to wait until I hit a space bar, and then it's going to go to the next frame. Another thing that you can do is you can display images. So this is a printed circuit board layout that I did years ago. Just grabbed it out of some file, and you can include images. And you can optionally label it. In order to do this, it's real simple. You just do a begin figure, then you do a command include graphics. You can scale it because images come in different sizes depending upon whether you did it with a camera, an iPhone or a smartphone, or you got it off the internet, or you created it with another program. Later on, when I do some more slides, I'll do some more discussion about what file or image formats you can include. JPEG, PNG, I believe you can do TIFF, some of the others. If you happen to have some weird format that won't display with include graphics, there's, tens of thousands of applications in Linux, and one of them is called Convert, which will allow you to convert from one image format to another. And I believe the application called Convert will allow you also to crop, resize, do all kinds of things. Now this one I just scaled to 0.75. Optionally, here's your caption. So at minimum you need 3 lines to include graphics. And if I scale this smaller, then that'll leave room below the slide. Down here, I can eliminate the figure caption, but I can put some text down here. So that's all you need to include graphics. You can also include equations. Remember I did a video where we did played with RTO2.f and RTO1.c. And this RTO2.f was the first program I ever wrote, and that was in 1966. One of the equations I solved in there was this one. And this is the beauty of LaTeX and Beamer. So you can put any equation you can write down, you can display. Hopefully it'll fit on one slide. This one just barely does. So this is a partial differential equation. Pretty simple to solve. I can laugh now. So that's just a simple introduction to what you can do with Beamer. I did all this with the Orange Pi 5 Plus, and this shows you that if you generate a presentation, now you would do this either as a student at any level, or you do it as a teacher, you can do it as a professor, you can do it as a professional, as a part of a presentation to an internal group or to a customer, whatever. And then if you're retired or you belong to a club outside of work or school and you're an expert on something and you want to give a presentation, you can do it by generating it simply with the Orange Pi 5 Plus. Then you're going to go off to a meeting or whatever, and you're going to give the presentation. Usually what happens is, say if you're like me, you're retired and I want to go to some group that I may or may not belong to and give a presentation. They'll say, bring a laptop. I'll ask them, if I bring a laptop, can you have everything? And everybody will. You just have some podium, and at the podium you'll have your power, plug and everything. You'll have usually a Cat5 cable if you need the internet. You'll have an HDMI or VGA connection for the projector. Or actually, you could take your own projector. There's some cheap projectors, and I own one. I could take, all I need to give a presentation is to take my Orange Pi 5 Plus and the cable. I didn't show the wall wart with the USB-C cable to power this thing up. I can take a Bluetooth keyboard and a Bluetooth mouse and a Bluetooth dongle, just plug this in. It only takes one of the USB ports, and I'm connected to the projector, powered up, and I'm ready to go. So it's just like your traveling medicine show. Just you're ready to give a talk anywhere at any time. This all fits in a little, fit in a purse or a small gym bag or whatever with your handouts. So that's all there is to giving presentations. Now I gave you an option to include one more package called PS Tricks, but you can generate just about any image you want using that package, and it's a little more complicated, and I'm not going to do any teaching on it unless I get 100 requests or more. Go read the books. There are online books on the package and plenty of YouTube videos. Okay. I now have in place all the tools that I need with my Orange Pi 5 Plus to do some videos in which I do not have to do things live. Let me show you one thing. I said there were some other options. So I've got beamer.tech, so VI beamer.tech. And at the top here is my theme. And I listed a couple here. And remember, I listed them all down here. Let's pick one of these. How about Bergen? Berkeley? Bergen? Any one of them. Let's try Bergen. So I'll go back to the top here, and it's use theme. I'll change word, Bergen. And let's just try that. I haven't done all these. There are 27 of them. I have tried some of these others. Wasn't impressed with them. I haven't tried Bergen. Let's try it. So we do a PDF LaTeX on Beamer. And I forgot how many slides I have. Let's see. Does it tell me how many of the slides I have? Yes, I have 18 slides here. And it didn't take any time at all to do that. So now I'm ready to impress you with impressive beamer.pdf. And there it is. Now this did a little differently. So here's my title. Then it says who's doing this, from where, and then when. Also, I did a /date within the date here. If you want to, if I'm going to do this on October the 13th or whatever, then within there, instead of just giving today's date, I just replace that with October 15th, 2055 or whatever date it is. Now the bullet list comes out with these little pluses, and I'm sure there are options to change that. Now, because of this theme, it eats up a lot of my display space here, and so these lines here get truncated. There's my themes. The bullet list, enumerated list here now has a white square with the text 1, 2, 3 in it. Everything else looks, oops. A bug. So Bergen doesn't show you the keywords here in lists. I have to file a bug report somewhere. It's probably already known. So now my tabular here is truncated. Let me show you how easy that is to fix. So I'll VI Beamer. Well, I say it's easy. Let's see now. Which one was it? Oh, the tabular. It's gotten, here it is. It's gotten too big. So let's make it smaller. So I'll do a left brace slash small. And then I need to close that off. Let's see if this works. Bang. I'm going to do bang PDF. Goes, oops, that's what I thought. Caption outside figure table. Okay. If I begin in table, then I shouldn't enclose something overlapping. Let's see if that works. So it's pretty easy to go and modify. If you're going to do this for the first time, I recommend you do one frame at a time. Go back, do the first one I showed you just to do the title page. Then as you add each page, run it again. That way you'll catch errors in the material that you just added. All right, I want to do impressive again. Let's see if this fixed my problem. There you go. Made it blue. I can fix that. So if things don't fit, then there are scaling factors. Oh, I forgot to tell you. I told you you could scale these figures, and this one I scaled by 0.75. This one also it overlaps, so I'll scale it even smaller, but it's scaled 0.05. It's scaled by a factor of 20 because it's a 24 megapixel camera. Okay, I've taken up some time here. Let's see how much time I did take. Where's my mouse? 30 minutes, nope, 27 minutes. So I got under my 30-minute limit. Thank you for your time. I'll come back with some more presentations. Some of them will be extemporaneous and some of them will be completely prepared with slides and 8x10 photographs. Thank you.